Hey, what's up, folks? I hope you're doing great. The main purpose of this meeting is to address those friends who have been trying to get certified. I thought that it would be beneficial for me to just give you some ideas about how to study for the exam. Because since I made that offer available to students who had failed the exam previously, I've gotten quite a few emails. And that concerns me because I'm not sure how effective the studying that many folks are putting in is. I know lots of folks are opening up books and trying to mow through the books, but I'm not sure if they are really doing things the right way. I'm not sure these folks have guided instruction. So if you're one of those students who has not passed the exam and you've taken it a couple of times, some people have taken it up to 3, 4 times, believe it or not. But I want to give you some ideas about how you should do this perhaps differently. All right? So the PMBOK Guide 5th edition has about 586 pages. It's broken down chapter by chapter. But for your next attempt, I don't want you to read it chapter by chapter. I want you to read it in a more dynamic and situational fashion. Don't just open it up and start reading integration, for example, or open it up and start reading the whole of scope. I want to introduce you to a concept that I'm still developing, and I would like you to get one of these, like a whiteboard. Okay, this is going to help you if you're studying for the exam. A whiteboard. You can see I've started a doodle of page 61. This will be the first step. To draw out page 61, get a Sharpie, smaller marker, and write up page 61 on something like this. Okay. After writing up page 61 on a board like this, the next step will be to begin to look for what I call the degrees of separation. Degrees of separation. What do I mean by degrees of separation? We're looking for the relationships, folks, between processes, and it could be any two processes. What are the number of degrees of separation between developed project charter and closed project or phase? In other words, how do I get across from developed project charter to closed project or phase? How many degrees of separation are there? Can I go down this way and go up back there? Or do I go that way? Or is there a way like this? How many ways are there to connect two processes? How can I connect develop project charter to direct and manage project work? All right, my project charter is an output of that, and then it goes into develop project management plan, and then I get my project management plan, and then it goes into direct and manage project work. Okay, that's good. Give me another example. I got my project charter out of develop project charter, send that to collect requirements, get my RTM, get my requirements documents out, documentation, and then from my requirements documentation, head to create WBS, get my scope baseline out. From my scope baseline, that funnels back into develop project management plan, right? So there are all sorts of ways you could look for 1 degree of separation, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees. but it's all here in the matrix. A lot of people talk about this chart, but the truth about this chart is cramming it is not really going to do you any good. It's understanding how you can trace the relationships, how you can trace those degrees of separation. Okay? Now, for those of you who are not too familiar with what I'm talking about page 61 in the PMBOK guide, right? This, where you got that table. Look for the degrees of separation. Can you connect for me? Create WBS and perform quality assurance. For example, you should be able to find these degrees of separation, the relationships. So that's a new way of thinking about these processes. All right? Now, the next one I'm about to drop is huge. This is from a student of mine, Brandon Forsty, who just got certified and overall above target on the exam. Okay? So, one of the things he said in his lessons that I'm still in the process of combing through, he talks about how he learns in a particular way. He says, Phil, what if someone took this and rotated it at a 90-degree angle? Either 90 degrees plus, I'm thinking either 90 degrees minus or plus. What if you did that? What if you started studying from here? Like that. Like that. What if you started studying the reverse? What would that do for you? Too many people studying like this, right? How about turning it at a 90-degree angle like that? Begin studying it like this. So you start with identify stakeholders and find that degree of separation. How is this connected to that? How is this connected to that, to that, to that, to that? How are these connected? That's another way. You can even go down like this, in the reverse. But I prefer doing it like that because this gives you a more abstract pattern than studying it in the reverse by knowledge area. Study it like that. You see? So these are ideas for people who have failed the exam. If you fail the exam, you can't afford to tackle it like you did at first. Plowing through a book, just reading and reading. No, don't do that. This is the challenge that I would like to make to you. If you are a project manager, which you should be, right? Because even if your title is VP, you are a project manager managing projects peculiar to you, right? There might be your own little projects, there might be your own big projects, but a project is a project. But I've trained a number of VPs and director level folks who still want to get certified. Everyone wants to get certified. Brandon is definitely above the executive level, but he still went ahead and got certified. I had a student out of Boston who was a VP of engineering in a well-known chemicals company. He got to the final 2 months of his career, pushing 70. He said, I want to get PMP certified. I want to take the PMP exam. And everyone was wondering, why would you want to take the exam? I mean, you got a nice little cottage in Switzerland. You can chill and fish on the lake all day long. You don't have to put in much effort to have a good life. You're at the end of your career. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to get a PMP certification? And he said, well, I would like to know what my project managers were going through. I'd like to know what they experienced, and I have been somewhat removed from the world of project management as my engineers see it. I want to live in that world. I want to get certified, and maybe after I retire, I might be able to do this to some degree. Long story short, someone who is well over 60 picked up the book, went on board our learning management system, pmsucceed.com, studied for over a month and over 60, killed it. So when I hear people telling me, oh, I'm a little bit weak and I haven't studied for ages and I'm just 55 and this is hard, I'm like, you want to go talk to my student who is now in Europe, former VP of engineering, over 60, way over 60, probably way over 65 now, if not over 70, but is now a PMP. It's doable, folks. It's possible. Here's one more thing you need to do. If you really want to get this book down pat into your system, you can't afford to look at it as it's written in a lot of these textbooks. None of these textbooks is ever going to do it justice, like a particular author I'm about to let you know about. This author understands project management extremely well, understands project management from your perspective, is able to take real world and make it sensible. You know who that author is? You. You are the author who can rewrite what is in this book to suit your taste. How do you do that? Take your real world projects, your real world scenarios, and build around that. And that, folks, is exactly what I'm going to be doing at Savage on Saturdays in a couple of weeks. We're going to have tomorrow's Savage on Saturday, but the next, either from the beginning of the Savage on Saturday or the middle, we're going to be talking about real world, folks. Real world projects. Bring your real world projects, and I'm going to help you see the light from your real world projects. I want to know what you're managing. What kind of projects are you working on? What kind of obstacles have you faced? Let's take those projects and let's align them with the world of the PMI. Let's align them with page 61, or if you're on the 6th edition, page 25. But let's take the real world and make it sensible in comparison with the PMBOK guide. Because a lot of people say, Phil, PMBOK is fairy tale, it's not real. Nobody ever does that. The reason why they say that is they're not really saying that this is just a grid of options that do not follow any particular order in the real world, or they do not have to follow a particular order for your projects to run in the real world. So let's talk about initiating first of all. The initiating process group. You need to look at this for what it is. It's authorization. Your firm wants to embark on an endeavor. Usually the powers that be get together and there is usually an Excel grid with different selection criteria. You can think of it like a multi-criteria decision analysis of sorts. Which project will we select? Well, this will affect the bottom line. This will give us some nice benefits, but it won't really affect the bottom line, all that. And they have these conversations and they come out with a project or projects that need to be run. And then they either give you your marching orders via email or there's a component. So you got a bit of a finicky internet connection. But that's all right, I'm monitoring it. So as I was saying, a lot of these projects, you have that selection and then the marching orders. Can you think of a project like that in your real world where you've got marching orders? You're going to work on this. This is what you're going to do. Or maybe you're like me, who was a consultant for many years and they would bring me into the firm to drive a project. Maybe that's the story of your life. That's really what happens here. Outside of that, also in initiating, you have the identification of stakeholders, which is also important. So I would ask you, how much do you do of that in the real world? Let's take a scenario, let's build. Okay? Then we move into planning, which needs no introduction. But don't look at planning as A, B, C, D. Sometimes it might start with a schedule, and then from the schedule, you move into scope, Some people are crazy about the schedule first. Yeah, we know what we want to do. Let's put it on a timeline. Okay. Where are we in that part of the world? Schedule. Then they begin to firm up. So it doesn't always happen like this. Okay. But you do need to know what you're doing. You get people into a room and then you're looking at a prototype. Which process are you in? Or you're passing out surveys and questionnaires and asking people, what do you think could go wrong on this project? Which process are you in? Or you're in a room giving people surveys and questionnaires and asking them, what do you think should be a feature for this application? So the bottom line, folks, as you are studying for the PMP exam, make it as situational as you possibly can by bringing your real world projects in and asking, this process, where have I done this in my real world? And if you're not able to find it, I want you to send in a description of your project for the Savage on Saturday next week. Send in a description of your project. I might even amuse you and create a few questions based on your project, as I have done on previous classes. Students studying for the lead exam are pleasantly amused when I bring their lead projects and put them in a PMI context. So shoot me your real world projects. And for Savage on Saturday, in a couple of weeks from now, or I should say 8 days from now, we'll begin to look at those. But if you fail the exam, here are your takeaway points. One, don't look at page 61 like this. You could look at it like this. You could look at it like this. You could study it like this. You could study it like this. It really depends. But avoid this however you wish. In addition to that, also look for the degrees of separation. How many degrees of separation between managed stakeholder engagement and managed project team? Can you find the path from those? Because each one of these is connected. You just need to find the path. They are all connected. And if you're able to find the path very easily, it's a good sign. If you're not, if you're like, oh dear, I don't know how that would relate, then there could be a problem. All right? Again, those of you who have failed the exam, I have been sending an Excel sheet to people who have failed for them to assess what to do better next time. If you do not have a copy of that sheet, I want you to shoot me an email. The email address is iamasuccess@praizion.com. iamasuccess@praizion.com. I'm going to be getting that Excel sheet across to everyone who has failed the exam to help them see on that grid, oh, if I fail this area, then these are the processes I need to hone in on. And I'm going to keep hacking away at this thing until you guys get certified. Okay? I believe that's Chris. Chris, how you doing? And Mustafa, good to see you guys. We're going to get this thing done, folks. We have to get it done. We have to. People wonder why, what's in it for you? Well, what's in it for me is a story of old. Me getting PMP certified was a huge game changer. Salary went up 300%. Was able to do some deals with different firms. Before I got PMP certified, 6 figures to make 6 figures seemed elusive. But after getting PMP certified, within a month or two, that changed. And within less than a year and a half, thereabouts, salary went up 300%. Was able to do stuff I couldn't do before, you know? Was able to have up to 6 figures in hand to do stuff because I got certified. So when I see people, saying the PMP is no good or not be motivated to go after it, I don't blame them. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know what I've been through. And they don't know what other people are going through. And other people need to get this. I had a student a few days ago that said, Phil, I have to get certified or my job is at stake. There are many people like that. I've got to bring it. Not every employer is patient. Some employers are very impatient. They want you to get certified like yesterday. And if you don't get certified, you're not going to get that bonus or that perk. You know, I heard the same story a few months before that. One of my students said, Phil, I feel bad I've not gotten certified because I'm not going to get my bonus. See? Now, while it is firms that make these, you know, orders or put these things in place, it is what it is, folks. I'm not here to argue about how a company should or should not use the PMP as an incentive. You know, the bottom line is it's affecting people and I want to do something about it, right? And a lot of other people get certified because they really want to know, how should I manage projects in a better way? How can I improve on project management in a firm? See, I've been in a lot of firms. Some firms are not very structured. Some claim to be, but don't follow it through. And a lot of other firms are doing great things with whether it is PMP or Agile or Scrum. It all comes from people in the firm knowing, oh, that would help us. Knowledge of that would help us. See? I've had so many defense contractors ask us to train them because they know. If they don't get certified, they ain't going to get the contract. So they don't have people on the team that are PMPs. It's quite competitive in the marketplace, whether the PMP knows what they're talking about or not. So this stuff, we're not just doing this for no reason, for no good reason. We're doing this to increase our chances of success, to stand out from the crowd, to be one of the almost 1 million people who can walk anywhere in the world where project management is being practiced based on the common lexicon, plug and play. That's what it's about. Okay? So I wish you all the very best. Those of you who are taking it for a second time, I'm going to do all I can to support you. Those of you who have signed up, some of you signed up for the course. I doff my hat to you. Hey, it's not enough to sign up for the course. I need engagement from you. I need you to send emails. Some of you sent emails in the past few days. Keep sending the emails about problems you're going through, studying, topics you don't understand. You know, the whole Savage on Saturday thing was a student who said, Phil, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, I don't understand these tools and techniques. Help me out. And that's how we started the Savage on Saturdays with a focus on tools and techniques. You know, we'd started Savage on Saturdays before that, but we weren't focused expressly on the tools and techniques. Right. And I believe that student has taken advantage of those videos, Savage on Saturday videos. K-Kid, how you doing? Oh, you got your book today. That is awesome. I'm glad you got your book. So let me know how it goes as you... Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl has got to bow where the PMBOK guide is concerned. You gotta juggle it wisely. When is your exam, Kenny? I can't remember. Let me know when your exam is. If your exam isn't in the next week, I excuse you to watch the Super Bowl. If your exam is on Monday, Super Bowl needs to go in the bowl. Take a back seat. Yeah. Well, I think the excitement alone leading up to it is enough to throw you off, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, that's definite. Oh, it's late March. All right, you're excused. Go watch, go enjoy. So let me know. Let me know how you find the course, though, K-Kid. Let me know. And if you run into any topics that you need some additional videos or discussions about, by all means, please let me know. Christopher, same thing with you, man. Any questions about anything, don't hesitate to let me know. I really want you guys to succeed. I want you to ace it. I want you to pass it and move on, okay? And in that way, I would have succeeded in what I'm trying to do. Same for everyone else. Mustafa, I don't know, how's your studying going? Are you hitting the books hard? I know you're going to show up tomorrow, so I look forward to seeing you. Good. Let's ramp up big time. Get that Excel sheet and begin to put all of your information in it and see where it maps. And those particular processes that you see reds, hit those hard, harder than ever, and keep me engaged. Let me know the projects you're working on. Shoot me some scenarios of your projects. I'm working on a project, this is a barrier I'm facing. Oh, I'm working on a project, this is the background information of the project. And then I'll make that maybe a question or use that to expand somehow on your awareness of the PMBOK guide. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys in about 15, 16 hours. I'm just chilling out here. Sorry about the bad internet connection. If it seems a little bit hazy, it's because I'm outside, just chilling out here. All right. So thank you very much, folks. Those of you who are looking for training, coaching for the PMP exam, go to PM Succeed. PMSucceed.com. All right, it's working now. Good. PMSucceed.com. Sign up, whether it's for 1 week or 1 month, and let's get this show on the road. Look, you're my family member, right? You're my cousin, my brother, my uncle, my sister, my aunt. You got to do it. You got to do it. Don't run away from this thing. Don't run into the 6th if you've been studying the 5th. Let's hammer it. I like what Chris is saying. You got to become the PMP mafia. You got to take down the evil baron, the question writer, right? The question writer who's trying to do a drive-by on you. Got to power up, folks. All right? I'm telling you the truth. I don't want you to be struggling with the 6. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Everything requires some sacrifice. Too many people want to get certified without putting in the extra 10. Just an extra 10% will take you so far. How about not going back home immediately, staying in the office, getting some coffee, hitting this thing in the manner I told you. Begin searching for your degrees of separation on this thing. Begin turning it upside down, on the side, taking a look at how this thing is. And again, challenging you. Shoot me one project that you're working on. Shoot me a scenario. I'm a project manager on a project that's doing this, 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 this. And then we'll take those scenarios and we're going to build on them, because I don't believe in reading this thing blandly without thinking, okay, which project does that relate to? And which project have I actually seen a funding limit reconciliation? Or in which project have I really done a product analysis? Or in which project have I seen anything remotely compared to expected monetary value? Or maybe not. In which project have I actually seen great examples of managing stakeholder engagement to save the project? In which project have I seen inspection being used as a tool and technique for the customer to accept something? You know, break it down, make it every day, every day, every day. You know, cooking could be a great example of every day that you can look at as a project. Who are the stakeholders? Family members eating the meal? How do you get them engaged? Well, maybe you can get them to do one thing or the other on the project. You see? That kind of thing. Hit that quiz, man. Christopher's hitting some quizzes. Hit it, man. Hit it hard, and let me know how you do. You see? But going back to my example of cooking, anything could be anything. I like taking the simple things and using them to explain the seemingly complicated maze of the PMBOK guide. All right? I'm going to go keep chilling, and I'll see you guys in about 15 hours thereabouts on Savage on Saturdays. Take care. Bye for now. Olivia, good to see you. Olivia says, thanks for the mini pep talk. It's a pleasure, Olivia. So I look forward to seeing you on Savage on Saturdays, okay? Everyone else, bye for now. Hit the books hard. Bye.